From TikTok tips to AI finance tools, Americans are overwhelmed. And with so much misinformation out there, it's hard to know who to trust. So here to share survey insights and help us out through the noise and turn money from a source of fear into confidence is Dr. Erica Reicher, Chief Financial Wellness Advisor at Beyond Finance. So thank you so much for joining us today. And of course, we hear so much conflicting advice online. So how can we separate financial fact from fiction in this age of misinformation?
Such a good question. And it is so important because we have to make sure to be able to spot that bad advice and avoid those costly mistakes, that we are very grounded in our ability to trust our financial decision making. And the first place you can start with that is beginning to bring a little bit of a healthy skepticism to your financial life and really being able to question the source, being able to check and see, is there some validity behind what this person is saying? And that said, being able to vet your influencers. We get information financially from, influencers online, from online communities, you name it, we see it. But it's so important to recognize that anybody can call themselves a financial guru. What we're looking for is credibility. What has this person done, either educationally or professionally or both, that make them the expert on this? Don't trust an expert just because they tell you to. And that said, don't be afraid to ask for help. One of the things our survey found is that 74% of people are managing their finances alone. You don't have to know everything about money, but you do need to know that if you need help with your finances, it's okay to bring in the right people to help you do that. And many people are very non-judgmental in helping you get to where you want to be financially.
Well, and then you just mentioned, we do want the facts and everything, but this is really cool too, because you did mention that Beyond Finance released that survey. So what were some of the biggest surprises about how people were making money decisions in 2025?
Absolutely. It was a fascinating survey. And the one that really stood out to me is that only 13% of Americans currently feel very good about their money. And more than half of Americans feel unprepared for the current economic uncertainty that we're all facing. And that said, half of the country doesn't even trust themselves to manage their money. So, pretty interesting statistics.
Yeah, and honestly, I have to admit, I'm probably one of those people. I let my husband do the majority. I say like, yeah, baby, you can just do it. I probably should get in there more and finally understand kind of how everything works. So it's good to have these segments like this too, to just empower myself a little bit as well. But for people feeling overwhelmed by their finances, what are some of the steps that they can take to begin reclaiming their financial story?
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned your own vulnerability with this, because we are all vulnerable and we don't want to let our overwhelm impede our progress. And so, really, the first thing I would encourage you to do, or anybody else who's listening, is begin by developing a personal self concept around your money. So, begin to understand what your beliefs are about money, what your values are, and help you explain to yourself why you are the way you are with money. What triggers you around money? What big emotions are you feeling? Do you feel shame or guilt or anxiety or stress? And start reflecting on those things to help bring into the picture, into the frame, a little bit about who you are and where you want to go with your money. And then from there, start adding taking care of your financial health to your overall self-care routine. Financial self-care is something that is so overlooked, but when you can start integrating your emotional, your mental, and your physical self-care with your financial self-care, it really lends this beautiful balance to your holistic well-being, which is so important because money touches all of these aspects of our lives. And when you can bring all that together and you can bring that awareness into all that good stuff that's going on inside to help you trust yourself, that's where you can start finding those personalized strategies, those things that are not one size fits all, that can really help bring you to a place where you can find consistent and sustainable habits that feel good to you, that build your financial confidence instead of destroy your financial confidence.
Yes, all great points there. So if we want a little bit more information or a resource we can go to for help, where can we go?
You can go to the newsroom at beyondfinance.com and check out all of our Financial Practice Week resources, and we have a downloadable financial practice guide.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today and helping to empower us. I know, like we were saying at the top, it can get very convoluted. There's so much misinformation. So it's nice to know we do have resources like this where we can actually get the facts and build our confidence financially. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Of course. And everyone at home, if you would like to see this interview again, just head to First Coast News Plus.